Hey all, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to kind of begin a series that's going to be sometime getting done, because it's a combiner of which I only have currently one member, that being this guy. This is the Generation Selects Tentakil, who is part of King Poseidon. Now, I do have 4 of the other members on pre-order. I'm not exactly sure when they'll come, especially nowadays, the world being what it is. I do not have Overbite on pre-order. That's the only one that I haven't been able to find, other than like kind of expensive in the aftermarket at this time. Will I get him? I don't know. We'll see. But herein we're going to take a look at this guy. Right now he's kind of in his foot mode, sort of, with all of his junk on him. Or leg mode, I should say. We're going to look at all of his modes. His robot, his blaster, his leg, his arm, the whole shebang. We're going to compare him to an offering from God Neptune's box set, that being Cilia, or Scylla, if you are so inclined. There's a lot to unpack with this weird little squid in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light them up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, the Everything Factor, all the groups that I am either a mod or an admin for. All those links, they're in the description below. Check me out across social media. All those links also in the description below. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring. Or, of course, hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member. And this, of course, is Tentakil. It is a heavy remold of the Power of the Primes Moonracer Lancer mold. A lot of people don't like that mold. I do. I dig it. I think it's pretty good. So I sort of expect to like this guy as much of a weirdo as he is. So without any further ado, how about we head over to the table and take a closer look at this squid. And yes, indeed, unexpectedly, we're going to start looking at the first of the Seacons that combine to give us Piranhacon, or King Poseidon. I love the name King Poseidon. Now, this is going to take a while. This is the only one, as of this recording, that I have right now. Tentakil is it right now. However, I do have 4 of the other ones on pre-order. So when they come in, we will look at those until we finally get this guy built. As a side note, I will be looking at the entire God Neptune set, and I'm going to not really go over the transformations and stuff so much there, because I'm trying to do the whole set in one review. I will save that for when I get the individual Seacons. We're going to see comparisons here. We're going to see comparisons there as well. So you're still going to get a good overview, because I think the way that this should have been done, had I been able to secure it earlier, is I would have had all of these done, and then I would have kind of looked at God Neptune after the fact. And I would have said, hey, I've already, covered the entirety of the transformation here, there, and everywhere. And the reason I want to do that individually with the Seacons is because there's so many modes that each of these guys do, all of them kind of iffy, but there's so many modes that each of these guys do, it only makes sense to show them individually. It would take forever otherwise. So I just wanted to throw that out there. As well, the success of this guy, well, it sort of depends on what it is that you're measuring it against. But before we get to that, let's look at the packaging first. This is the box. I mean, it just has Transformers everywhere on it and on the back and everything else. But when you open it up, is this the side that... No, that's the side that's not going to open. This is the side that opens. When you open it up, you slide out this other black package that has a bunch of stuff on it, and it has a schematic on the front. Of course, it says Seacons Tentakil, and then when you slide that off, we have another box. It's another box. This is a Generation Selects box. It says Takara Tomy. Decepticon symbol on there. It is what it is. When we open it up, of course, Tentakil would be in here. as well as the instructions. The only thing left in here right now is the hand. I'm going to get that out. And so here we have a hand. The fingers are individually articulated, which is nice. The thumb can go on either side, which is, I guess, nice. This is the wrist hinge, a couple of holes inside there on the palm. The back of the hand comes out, and what's there is a square port that is basically a combiner port so that you can put a 6th Target Master member in there if you want. Oh, we've got 2 of these blue blasters. And as only the glorious gaudy Seacons can do, here we have a metallic pink part of that huge Trident spare thing. Super in-depth instructions that have really small pictures because it covers so very much. They're fairly clear all the same. I can't read any of this because it's all in Japanese. And so here we have Tentakil, or the Tentacle drone, depending on your skew on the fiction. And here that is next to the other mold reuse, Cilia or Scilia. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. She is the only different member of God Neptune. And she is the only member really to kind of be remolded. But in this mode, as you can see between both of them, you know, she thinks she's beautiful and gorgeous. I'm sure he thinks he's kind of the bee's knees, I would guess. I don't know. I don't know if either of them are exactly what you would call attractive squid fish creature things. But there's both of them side by side. At least the colors on Cilia are a little more uniform, and Tentakil is wild and all over the place. Now, depending on your fiction, that is one of the big keys here. If you go with Japan, then Tentakils are drones, and there's innumerable Tentakils, and they all are mindless drones that serve their leader, Turtler. But it's a bit different if you go by the like North American fiction, which was comics only. It wasn't an animation thing, really. I mean, he did have that comic or that commercial animation appearance, but like, that's a rough approximation of this. A really rough approximation of this. So when we do the grades, so we're going to kind of do it based on like his G1 plastic offering, because the animation is too all over the map, really. But this is him in his squid mode. All of his accessories can technically go on him. The 2 blasters, the hand, and the other piece, they can all go on him. In terms of his modes, well, let's try and do this as quickly as we can. We're going to take that off, and we're going to take these off, and this, that's the back of the hand that came out, and this. Now, we're going to do the kind of Target Master mode first, where you bring the arms up over and you turn them and sort of bring them down like that. So you unpeg the arm if it was pegged in on the side, you bring the elbow up, you turn it around, and now these should sort of be facing down this way. I could get some of this wrong, by the way. I'm going on an approximation of the instructions. You bring those legs up. You make sure that we have the combiner peg out, and then the legs fold down under, and we take out that piece there. Now, there's 2 things that I've seen done here at this point. Either they take a blaster and put it right in the front, or they take the 2 blue blasters. Let's just take this one here to show, and they still put it, if I can get it, like there on the side. I think that's cumbersome, but it's a thing that I've seen done. Either way, whatever you go with, you then place it in the hand, and that's your setup. So if you don't want them actually holding the blaster, you can do it that way, no problem. Or, since we're here, you can now straighten that up, and I'll take this blaster out, and you can turn him up like this, and that's leg mode. So it's very similar to, like, blaster and leg are really the same sort of thing. You know, and honestly, like, if you're so inclined and you want to see it, here's Celia in her blaster mode, and then same thing. There she is in her leg mode. Naturally, you would get a foot piece that we don't have right now, and that would go down in the bottom. If you want this guy in arm mode, basically we bring that out, we bring these up, we flip this piece down, we rotate the hips to the side. Now you can either, with this piece, you can either leave it here and sort of out, or you can, if I can move this, I feel like this is more cumbersome here. You can open this out and like move the waist around, and then move the hips around, because the waist section there is actually a separate piece. Close this back in and put this back up over. So, and put these back down. So you have two options there of kind of where to put this. Very much like you did, because this is really a heavy remold of the, like, Lancer, Moonracer, Firestar, Nova Star, whatever you want to call her, mold. What you could do with the car piece there, you can do the same thing with the headpiece here, and naturally you would take a hand at this point and why is it that that doesn't want to go in there? There. And you would put it in there like that. In terms of functionality, you know, we do get a double elbow if we bend the hips and the knees and stuff the right way. I dig it. It's fine arm, fine leg, I guess fine blaster thing. In terms of going to robot mode, we put the peg down, we straighten that out, we bring this around to the back, and this whole thing comes up over the back. These feet, I guess, they will come here to the back. These also go around to the back. We rotate at the waist, we split the leg, we bring it down, and we bring down the foot, we bring down an arm, and we bring down an arm. Oh man, I forgot to raise the head, so I need to bring all of that down. Before you turn the whole waist around, make sure you take the head out first, because otherwise you're going to have to do what I'm doing here, which is kind of turn it back around. Now I can turn the whole thing around and bring this again back up over the back. That was my mistake. Got the head out. Come here, and that uses a little hinge on the forearm, and it goes up behind the hand. Little blue hinge on the forearm goes up behind the hand. And boom, in the end, here we have Tentakil in his glorious robot mode. And here's Celia or Skillia and Tentakil next to each other. A lot of remolded parts. I think the feet might be the same, the pelvis maybe. The forearms are arguably the same. Obviously the fish pieces, like the legs and the face stuff, they're the same. But the core robot itself, like a lot of what's used on Celia, where it's a female character, is more slight, more slender. I would say a lot more parts used from like Nova Star or Moonracer or whoever. A lot more new molded pieces that are chunkier, heftier, a little more masculine physique for Tentakil. But I love that they're not just a straight up reuse of each other. Like, there are differences more than paint. There are actually molded differences to show that these are different character, so I dig it. Transformation, I'm just going to say it now for both of these. It's easy to go between all of these modes. I like the mold as the fembots anyway, so I like it here. I think it's successful. Big backpack, yes, but as you can see, they both still stand just fine. Well balanced, weighted. I'm honestly going to say maybe a couple of little fiddly parts here and there, but nothing worth complaining about at all. Solid 9, honestly, for working for what it should be. Now, whether those modes are good modes is a different story, but for the engineering, for working the way it should, both of these are 9 for the transformation, and it's quick and easy to go between the modes, which is good because there's technically 5 of them. In terms of paint apps or look for Tentakil, well, taking her out of it, honestly, he's pretty close. I mean, the blue down on his feet should be there. The silver on his legs is a little different. Maybe that should have arguably been gold. The arms being blue, really for the most part. The chest, mostly pink with the little blue in there. The golden face, it's all there. Even the pale pink for everything else. Now, if we were to look at the Master Force, I think it was Master Force animation, I think that pale pink is more white in that. But looking at kind of the G1-ish art for the guy, like that's kind of the going norm. If we look at the commercial, like one arm is blue, one arm is not blue. The body is kind of a stark red. The head is blue, so like you can't really go by the commercial. Now, to be fair, I don't think in Master Force we ever saw a robot mode. I think it was like combine mode and then fish mode. I'm gonna say that this is honestly again a 9.5 for the character because there's so many different kind of iterations that we need to pull this guy from. So pardon the abrupt cut, but I had to do a battery change. So a 9 and a 9.5, 9.25. The articulation, the head goes left and right. It can wiggle up and down. The arms, they can go all the way around because the ball joint's at the shoulders. We have a 90 degree at the elbow, and we have a swivel because of the ball joint at the elbow. The wrist can go in and out, no rotation. That would have been nice. The waist has a rotation, which is very nice. The legs can do respectable splits, but not quite all the way out. There is a thigh swivel built up in the thigh, but it's really more of a thigh wiggle. It's not the most effective thing in the world. Forward that far, it's okay, not perfect. Back all the way. We do have a double knee, which is fantastic. And we have this weird, like, outward ankle tilt. I wish there was an inward one. So, couple of little range issues. He does stand like a champion though. Couple of little range issues with the hips and the thigh swivel. An inward ankle tilt would be nice, and a wrist swivel. It's not bad. I mean, you can do what you want. He stands fantastic. I'm going to say it's a 9, but there's still room for a little bit of improvement. Honestly, the guy overall is a solid 9. Like, if you don't like the mold, or you don't like these colors, or whatever, that's cool, man. But in terms of functionality, in terms of working the way he should, he does it pretty well. In terms of capturing the look of the character, he does it very well. This is exceedingly gaudy early 90s, and I absolutely love it. He is doing exactly what he sets out to do. Be a representation of something that's the embodiment of a specific time, a specific era. And that early 90s gaudy colors comes out brilliantly here, with some more modern day, I should say, engineering to allow him to be more dynamic with more poses. Plus, the dude has 5 modes. Whether he succeeds in all of them, that's up for debate. But overall, he's pretty fantastic for what he is. And here we are once again, and here he is. And look, either you like the mold or you don't. If you didn't like it as a car, you're not going to like it as a squid monster thing. If you do like it as a squid monster thing, then whether you like it as Tentakil or Scylla, whatever you want to call her, man, that's up to you. I think it succeeds for both of them. I think it's fun to convert between modes. I think the modes are successful, you know, as successful as they're designed to be. I think I like Scylla a little bit more. I think the remolding on her works a bit better. Looking at you, thigh swivel. But I like this. I like the gaudiness. I love the shout out to the 90s. yeah, there's a lot here for me to like, but that doesn't mean it's going to be for everyone. For the way that it embodies the character, for the way it's designed to work, it's quite good. Is it up your alley and personal taste? Well, that's up to you to decide. In the meantime, let me know what you think about Tentakil. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you are in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link, check us out on Patreon, see what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course, you can hit the join button right here on YouTube. While you're at it, man, hit the subscribe button, stick around, have some fun with us. Don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single solitary day, you do make a difference, and I look forward, baby, to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams at the stop motion premiere, or the old-fashioned way, man, right here inside the videos.